All right, here we are. Now, before you look away, let's remember the importance of this match right here. So both DracKeN and Dark were players that were promoted up from gold to play in Platinum. So they were 5th and 6th out of the 6 players in their group when you looked at things before the action began. And so if there was ever a chance to get wins, if there's ever a chance to get points on the board when every single game matters, it would be against each other here. DracKeN has already played 2 rounds, and of those 2 rounds, he got 2 wins. So he comes in with 2 wins, but he got those wins from Leary and Yo. So he has 2 out of a potential 6. Dark, this is actually his 2nd round. And Dark's other rounds comes up in like a day or 2 or something, I think. But anyways, Dark, he's 0 out of a possible 3. He got 3-0'd by MBL. So obviously another set for him to come after this to even out and have it be the end of week 3. But Burmese? Hold on a second. Burmese? Bro, are you kidding me? Hold on. We have to look at the Civ draft. Did he actually go for Burmese? What was he expecting here? Was he expecting to be up against Aztecs? Or like, maybe he thought Burmese was good against Hindustanis or something? No, Aztecs would be on Arena. Burmese? Some really weird decisions here to pick Burmese. I mean, I remember the last time that people were questioning Burmese in the tournament. Burmese actually won. I think it was Warlords. Hera won with Burmese against Viper. But like, I'm really surprised that we were seeing Burmese here. I think that he was looking for a different matchup here. Or maybe he knows something that we don't know. Burmese not the most common pick in competitive Age of Empires 2. The map is Scandinavia. And Scandinavia, you need to worry about the water on both sides. And this is actually really exciting because they're smack dab in the middle. So scouting is going to be so important here. Normally, you could have a TC here, and then obviously DracKeN docks this side. Or, you know, a TC here, and obviously Dark's going to dock this side. And so you can kind of gather where they're going to dock based on their TC position. But now you need to scout their TC position, but you also need to scout their dock position. And I think they're both slightly closer to the left side. So they both might end up docking that side. And that's obviously a big talking point. You have lots of areas to wall up. The gold, I notice, is extremely awkward for DracKeN here. You might end up falling back to this gold. You have lots of hunt and food in general on this map, as you've got no berries, but you've got 3 boars and lots of deer. Not to mention all the sheep out there, too, and the fish. So there's no shortage of food. And if I were to predict who wins this series, I would say I predict DracKeN right now. I only got to see Dark versus Yo, but I've been really impressed with DracKeN. And I think DracKeN is earning himself a lot of fans around the scene right now. And I had said this, well, after his Gold League performance, like the guy shows that he knows how to play tourneys. He might not be the best on Arabia, but he almost beat Leary on Arabia too. Like, he can play Arabia. He just prefers the more slow, strategic maps as that suits his skill. The dock over here for Dark. First fishing ship out. First fishing ship on the way here for DracKeN out of his dock. And you can already see DracKeN scouting the shoreline here. And so him not seeing anything here, I think already tells him in his mind that his opponent is likely on his side. And then Dark seems to just be pushing in deer. And honestly, I feel like pushing in deer is a little overrated on this map because you have 3 boars. I feel like that scouting information could be more important, but we'll see if he makes any big errors because of the lack of scouting. He must have gotten housed or something, because he's got 23 seconds of TC idle time, which is maybe first game of the day or something for him, but that's not something you see every day. Oh, Eagles could die, though. Good job from DracKeN to get away there. Did lose some precious HP. And enough HP where he will most certainly lose that if these scouts were to fight. Okay. Yo, Calvin, thanks for chilling out. Glad you could make it. We'll see if there's going to be a barracks for either player. I think the more common strat is to fight for the water once you know where they've docked. Wouldn't surprise me at all if DracKeN sends his eagle over to confirm this. Mines aren't necessarily known as a good water civ, but hey, if your opponent fishes, it's probably worth it to just compete for it. Like Burmese are infantry and cavalry. They have very weak skirmishers, which is why you don't see them picked a lot. But they're good in matchups where the opponent's going to be going for stable units or trash units. If their opponent has Arbalest with Bracer, that's always a big problem. Now, they do have a unique tech that gives their light cap +5 attack versus archers. But I've yet to see that be super applicable in games. And again, having weaker skirmishers is the most painful thing about playing as Burmese. Did he actually see this here? Okay, so he hasn't confirmed it yet. But his whole build is to go for the second dock. So he's going to want to see it. Now he sees it. And Dark is going to do the same, by the way. Dark is also going to go for 2 docks. So I think Dark, even though he was late to scouting, he knows his opponent hasn't docked this side. Or at least he believes that. He's actually going to gold. And he's adding militia. So he wants to go man-at-arms. Burmese get +1 attack on their infantry per age. And they get their wood upgrade for free. So their eco is actually underrated. Especially with like this wide open map. Imagine if Dark could be aggressive here, how much success he could have. Great job from DracKeN, though, to take the back gold. I think that's really smart thinking. And he's just going to wall in towards his TC this way instead of trying to be greedy and going for the full wall this way. Oh, we don't actually have the second dock for Dark yet. It seems like he wants to still do that. But, guys, he never scouted the dock. Fire galleys will come out for DracKeN. He should kill these fishing ships, which obviously puts Dark under a bit of pressure to kill villagers now. One player's investing into the water to kill fish. The other one's investing into the land to kill villagers. There's actually not many villagers underneath that TC, so sometimes players will still try and commit here. But man, what a great job from DracKeN to wall like this. This is not something Dark was expecting when he saw this open map. We will have a skirmisher and maybe an archer even behind this for Dark. And we do also have a second dock for Dark. We'll see if that ends up doing much for him. He's trying to fish. Oh, so he had no clue. Oh, man. He really is getting punished for the lack of scouting here. We do have this starting scout attacking here. And DracKeN's just now making a barrack. So DracKeN is going to be ahead on water. Now he needs to make sure he stabilizes on land. Looks like with this house, the pathing for these units would have to go all the way over here, which would take some time. Yeah, I think this is really important for DracKeN. Don't worry about this dock as much. Just go try and find the fish. And don't keep your fires together if you can, because otherwise Dark could stabilize a bit. Here we've got man-at-arms attacking. Oh, that wall's going to go down. That is going to go down, I think, unless you have something bigger than a house. Oh, he went for the blacksmith. Great job from DracKeN there. Dang. Smart thinking, and he needs the blacksmith anyway, so he can make some ranged units, and there he goes. So he's killing the fishing ships. He's also killing this villager. The Eco KD is going to be insane for DracKeN. And he's held. He also has walled to the golds here. He's walled this off as well. And, you know, the big thing is just the lack of scouting from Dark to know where the fish are. It's a big aspect of this map. He was late to the party as far as that's concerned. And now he's going to attack this house to try and break through, and he doesn't even know that that's fully walled yet. DracKeN with the dream start here, honestly. A bit awkward that he can't take this. But the fact that he still has his fishing ships and this game is playing into ranged units is perfect. You don't really even worry about Burmese skirms in the long term. They don't get much stronger than that. You can get elite skirm, but lacking the armor is a problem. So all the fish will go down. And Dark will certainly know everything that I'm talking about. He's probably thinking, oh man, I've got to kill, I've got to kill, I've got to kill here. I need to get a win here. And this is my best chance. Stop myself from just getting relegated. Back down to gold for the next season. And DracKeN looks motivated. You've got the house wall here. And DracKeN's going to go counterattack. A gutsy play, right? So he drops a tower now. And it's going to be tower and then counter. His opponent is wide open. That counterattack could be perfect here. Now, Darks, you've got to know this. If your opponent isn't sending any army towards you and they have a blacksmith, you kind of have to start making outposts or tower at home as well. Game sense should tell you that your opponent is intentionally defending with the tower in order to get the army elsewhere. That said, this is questionable from DracKeN. I don't know why you would ever chase here. I thought he was going to sneak those archers, and actually he could lose his fishing ships now. So Dark, okay. Dark has lost 5 eco this game. But if he could kill the archers from the Mayan player, I think he'd start to enjoy things a little bit more. A little shocking to me that DracKeN showed that, but he is on the way to Castle Age. At the very least, now he could just try and save his numbers and just hide in his base or something. Why no Arambai? Fast castle into Arambai is a good strat. Because he would lose all of his fish and he would get killed in feudal age. There's too many other aspects of this game that you would fall off on if you tried to go for Arambai. But, you know, it might be a better strat for a different map, right? I still think competitively you have to question it. There's a reason people aren't picking Burmese in most cases. It, I think, was a counter pick. I think he wanted to have Burmese against Aztecs or have Burmese against, like... Again, I'd have to look at DracKeN's draft again, but I think there was a plan with Burmese, and he probably didn't want it against Mayans. So, nice hold from Dark here. He does lose the Man-at-Arms. He has stopped himself from taking more damage in Feudal Age. He is still not really going to be that competitive here on the water. At the very least, like, these fishing ships have brought in so much food already for DracKeN, he'll be feeling fine. I do like this, though, from Dark. And I think an underrated move here, if you know you're going to be later to Castle Age, is actually fully stonewall the map. Like, stonewall this way, and stonewall this off. I know it's crazy, but I actually think it would have made a lot of sense here. DracKeN's done a great job here to start off this game. He's put himself in a position to do damage with an opening of crossbows and Bodkin arrow, if he can afford it, obviously. He's got his eagle there that can deal with those skirms. He's just got fletching even. He was really delaying those upgrades, wasn't he? And still no crossbow upgrade. So these are just feudal age archers still. It's an eagle, though, that could be pretty effective with the 7 base attack now. I imagine he's probably microing on water, which is why you're not seeing quite as much focus. And great job from Dark to try and recover here. But now Dark needs a tower at home, and he's played pretty open here. And he's going to lose all of his skirmishers. And what on earth are you supposed to make against crossbow now? I guess it's got to be siege. Dang. This is nice, right? And this will pay off if Dark can stabilize. I feel like if with a couple well-placed towers, he could maybe be okay, but he does lose that villager. Still no crossbow for DracKeN, who's thinking about the second town center. Remember, he towered, so he doesn't have the stone for it, but he's going to stone now. He's probably thinking, well, I got to keep my fish alive. And, ooh! Dark! Honestly, it just came down... The start to this game simply came down to the fact that Dark didn't know his opponent had docked. Which is always going to be a thing on this map. And, oh, God, there's a hole back there. Oh, no. Is DracKeN going to click behind? Still super questionable DracKeN hasn't clicked crossbow. There we go. There it is. And oh no! Dark is like, I hope there's no hole back there. There's no hole, right? Please be no hole. Please no hole there. Please no hole. Please no hole. I think there is a hole. I don't see the crossbows. Ah! And he freaks out. Again, this skirm play is not going to get any better here with Burmese. It's only going to get worse. We had 2 crossbows or 2 archers. Now crossbows looping in on this side. This just gives DracKeN so much time to do everything else he might want to do at home. And there's that second town center for him. So he's just going to tack on more villagers here. He did lose all of his fish. And his opponent's still not too far away from Castle Age. All things considered, I think the eco's decent enough here for Dark where he could still have a pretty good chance. As long as he does get elite skirm and gets effective trades. But your opponent's just asking so many questions of you, right? You're getting hit on this wood line. You're getting hit on this wood line. Resources are floating. And I think the number one thing he needs is siege here. And let's see what the scouting looks like for Dark on this side. He's still making houses. Okay, he might spot that dock there from DracKeN. Or not. Oh, man. It seems like he just wants to keep fishing there. Obviously, he's got so much idle time. First thing you need is the Siege Workshop. Stable? I wants to go Knights, but you could have made the stable already. Dark has not looked great, man, under this pressure. This has not been a great game from him. Double stable now. Again, the Civ selection didn't do him any favors. The stables could have been up already. He could have been producing Knights already. And now DracKeN's going to see this, and I think DracKeN's going to love life when he sees that. Still, the eco counts 53 to 53, and our Mr. Platinum, as he has called himself on the draft, he was so happy when he got promoted here to Platinum. It seems like he knows his win condition here. Just continue to pressure with crossbows. He is making a fire galley over here, so he could actually get to those fishing ships from Dark. And he didn't scout that. Like, he didn't confirm that there were fishing ships there, but it does make sense to check for it. Now, DracKeN realizing his numbers are pretty low now, realizing the Knights could be effective. He does the right thing, and he pulls back. And I think all he wants now is he wants to save up for a castle on this hill. The timing could be interesting for this fight here for Dark, because he will have Bloodlines, and he will have +2 armor. If he could get like 10 to 12 Knights, it could be effective, because DracKeN has split up units. That's something that Dark's not going to really realize in time, and he just researched gill nets here, Dark, in order to have more efficient fishing, too. I guess he's got some over here still. Does DracKeN go forward castle or safe castle? What do you think? I think DracKeN's a safe castle kind of guy. And there it is. And yeah, this is what I mean. Now that you've got +2 armor, you can take better trades. DracKeN's micro is still really good, though. You want to at least kill the knight. And then he runs it on this side. But man, Dark is at the limit. 33 to 33 KD. Dark needs to find some damage, and he needs to find it fast. This map just looked so brutal for DracKeN when this game started. But now that that castle's going to be there, and he'll have security on this side too. Now that Ballistics is going to be in as well, it could be really difficult for Dark to get any type of damage in here. You want to see Burmese get Siege Ram? You know, it's a bit tricky, right? Like, it's like, do you want to buff civilizations by, like, giving every Civ Bombard Cannon and Siege Ram, for example? I think... I actually... Oh, man, there was a hole there! Oh, man, DracKeN with the great reaction time there. He needs a Stonewall piece. He's currently fighting in the middle. And now he drops the houses. That works, too. And that was extremely impressive. I didn't even see the hole. I think Burmese are good, but they're situational. And they... I think the unique tech could still use some work. But more than anything, you know, like, as far as, like, talking about what could be, I know what is and what isn't there for the Burmese right now. And why, when you were 3-0'd in the first round and you're desperate for wins, would you ever pick Burmese if you're confident that you can get results against your opponent? That's the thing, is like, if you go, even if he's trying to go for a mind game, every time I see someone go for a mind game, it's when they're the player who is at the disadvantage. I think Dark has shown throughout his career, you know, maybe not the last couple months because he took a break, you know, he hasn't been at that same level that he was in the first season, but like, I don't think he's a player who needs to necessarily fear DracKeN and go for that type of play. So I'm surprised here in game number 1. Not surprised at DracKeN's performance. He's super consistent in what he brings to the table. I think the only thing that he's really made mistakes on this game was probably losing his fish, because he had a good head start. But to be fair, DracKeN invested Dark invested a lot more to kill that. And he lost his fish pretty quickly. It's going to be plumed archers out of 2 castles here for DracKeN. He's got tons of plumes, and again, the knight numbers just aren't good enough. Ballistics is in. It feels like Dark is just going to delay the inevitable, but I do not know at what stage he ever really has a chance here. And DracKeN's going to get another victory. So important. So what I had said at the start of this group was you have Leary, you have MBL, and you have Yo. Those players, I think, you should consider them the untouchables in terms of they will not get relegated. That would be crazy if they were in 5th or 6th position, either of those names. But then you have Backed, and then you have Dark, and you have DracKeN. We don't know how the rest of this series is going to go. But we did just cast a series, and so this will have spoilers, obviously. If you didn't see it today live, should be uploaded in order on the YouTube channel. But Backed just finished his 2nd round earlier. And that was against Yo, and he wasn't able to get a win. So he Backed has 1 win after 2 rounds. DracKeN, having played Leary, having played Yo before this, had 2 wins. And he's at least going to get 1 here. And so it might actually be like after, like next week maybe, as the Plumed Archers run right into the wood line. Don't mind if I do. Whoop. Hello? There you go. Might actually be DracKeN looking like the favorite to stay up and get into that 4th spot. Maybe even more. Who knows? I've been really impressed with DracKeN. And the thing about DracKeN that is really good in his group is that everyone hates the closed maps in his group. So DracKeN's always going to be a favorite on 1 out of the 3 maps regardless, and he's performing well on these other maps. Like, he almost beat Leary on Arabia. 18 Plumed Archers, 19 Crossbows. We're going to see the Pike switch as well, but honestly, I think this is so over that the GG will be called the second DracKeN's in him. Dark he is a fighter. He does play on when he's dead for a while. That is something I know about him. But look at the micro from DracKeN. He says, who cares? Who cares about your repairs? Who cares about your repairs? Who cares about the fact I'm almost an imp? I'm going to lose my crossbows because I'm going plumes. I don't care. A little wasteful there. I think he could have easily just split away from the shot and then just left instead of trying to fight there. But he's showing his confidence, I guess. We see Squires. We see Halb now. Obviously, very strong when the opponent has Knights. I think you could just freely go Archers. It seems like a switch that isn't maybe needed. DracKeN's got to be careful that this doesn't go super late. I mean, I still don't know what Burmese do. But, I mean, you do want to use your imp advantage here. We're probably going to see him getting relics right now. Yeah, so he's going to get relics for the late game. I like this random outpost from Dark to keep vision on that gold if the game does continue for a while. No Trebs or anything yet from DracKeN. I get a little surprised by that too. No real killer blow, but I think this castle is going to supply the killer blow. If he gets that castle up, he's got a really important hill next to 2 town centers here from his opponent. And crossbowmen are going to run through. Those are just forgettable units right now in DracKeN's eyes. He's not going to upgrade them. But he is going to get that castle, and there's going to be a Treb on that castle. And Bracer's now in for these Archer units. I think DracKeN was slightly concerned that Dark was going to be all in with Knights. Like, sometimes with, like, 30, 40 Knights, you can kill the Imp Archers. So that's why he rushed the Halb. But he really can't lose this game. Like, a player of DracKeN's quality, you just cannot lose with this Civ matchup and this type of position, I think. He would have to actively try to lose, which I don't think is going to happen. There's $40 on the table per win. And all these wins are so important for the later stages, and you get positional prizes as well. And remember, if you're 3rd, 2nd, or 1st, you also move on to a playoff stage and play people from the other groups after the group stage concludes. Is it too crazy to say that DracKeN could be at 3rd in this group? He'd have to win this series like 3-0 and then beat MBL. I think that's too crazy. And then he'd probably have to beat Backed too. There's a lot of results. I think I'm getting too crazy on the DracKeN hype train. We need to calm it down here, guys. Calm down the DracKeN hype. Don't want to get the, you can't get the clown people. It's the clown people. You can't get the clown legion people too excited, Well, John Slow, this is funny. So in Silver League, he watched my prediction video, and I talked about a lot of the CL players. I talked about Derp. I talked about John Slow, obviously. And the list goes on. There was a couple more in there. And I said that John Slow would lose in the 2nd round. And I was honest on my opinions on everybody. But as we watch the Mayans dominate here, and Dark, makes it to Imp into nothing, John Slow would skip through the video to see what I was saying about the Clown Legion players. And he would, if he didn't like what I said, he would call me out for it. And he'd be like, the disrespect, man. I think I was actually pretty spot on with my predictions with Clown Legion, though. Elite Battle Elephant? Well, okay, you need something. Congratulations, you can afford 6 elephants. He's like, I need something that's effective here because he doesn't have the numbers of anything, really, so... Whatever he tries here, it's going to have to bring him back into the game. But again, like the Civ selection of Burmese, not scouting the docks. Elephant's really expensive. He should know he's dead now, guys. This is all looking very good for DracKeN. And Dark taps out here in the first game. DracKeN's looking good. Dark? No, I remember Dark playing in some qualifiers for other events. I've been hyping the kid up for years because he's really young. I think he's like 18. But he has not looked sharp so far. Now, he does have his home map of Arabia next, which will be very interesting. DracKeN's known for being one of the players that likes to ban Arabia, so that's going to be Dark's best opportunity. But remember, DracKeN is already doing slightly better in all the groups, so for Dark, I think if you were to lose this, it would be painful. So he's going to try and respond with not just 1 victory, but 2. Again, like, we talked about it, and I don't know exactly what was going through Dark's mind, but these are very important things on this map. Remember I said that pushing deer on this map can be overrated because you have 3 boars? He still had the boar here. He still had all this food. He still pushed it in. I don't know if he needed to do that. And so he scouted this side. And then if you fast forward, just watch his scouting here. See, at this point, you should already know your strategy and your opponent's strategy. So there, he doesn't double back to the dock. And so he just assumes he's going to be able to fish boom. Watch this. This is where you know that it's a scouting loss, or at least an early scouting loss, is when he adds the dock and he queues up a fishing ship. To not know that your opponent's going 2 docks like that when you've got the scout, which is actually faster than an Eagle Warrior, that's questionable. And then Dark, obviously, was up against very good defensive play from DracKeN, who had a lot of work to do to wall up and play safe. But DracKeN macroed well towards Castle Age and just did all the things he needed to do there. It was pretty much a stomp. As you can see, not necessarily in the KD because DracKeN decided to donate 20 crossbow kills, but the economy, and it would have continued to be worse and worse for Dark there with the KD. So, game 1, Dark goes for, he went for the Burmese, and we questioned it. It obviously didn't work out, and it looked bad. A good civilization on Scandinavia is Japanese, because of the fish. He now picks Japanese here. Now, Japanese are not a bad Arabia civilization, but again, some of these picks are going to make me feel like it's just going to look bad if you don't end up winning the game. The Japanese might actually be a pretty decent matchup against the Hindustanis. That might have actually been part of it. But let me look to the draft one more time. What else did he have available in that draft? Okay, Burgundians, Bengalis, and Teutons. He actually drafted like 4 arena civilizations there. And I guess Japanese was his #1 pick. And maybe originally it was for Scandinavia, but he changed his mind. So, we've got Dark over on the right side of the map, or the east. We've got DracKeN to the west. We've got DracKeN playing as the Hindustanis. And the thing about the Hindustanis is they have incredible economy. They have incredible options. If you go Knights, they've got a great counter. If you go Archer units, they've got a great counter as well. And it's just really tough to stop this Civ. But there is a world here where it could be awkward if the Japanese get to a lot of Halberdier and Arbalest. The Japanese aren't necessarily known as a really good Knight Civ. They're more so going for infantry and archers. So I guess maybe if there was a safe stone for DracKeN, he would think about the Gulam later on. I think, though, the map is far too open, guys, to just get to the Gulams. So more than anything, DracKeN's probably going to have to play into something like skirmishers. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. They are so close together, which I just now am realizing. But both players have 2 sheep here. So this will be a pretty big swing for whoever gets that. Also, is Dark going to lame? Dark is going to steal the boar. This might be the first boar steal we've seen in all of Titans League Platinum. It's possibility. It's allowed in the rules. We have the boars spawn to the sides or the back for a reason. And realistically, you never want to take the back boar first for that reason. I think this is inexperience from DracKeN. You always want to take your forward boar first. That one was maybe out of his vision. I think he could see it, though. And so Dark with a very effective lame here, and he's going for an early barracks, too. So he knows his opponent's lumber camp is there. He knows his opponent's berries are there. And he's got the food stolen from the opponent. This is actually a really nice build. And if he runs forward, he might actually find the sheep. DracKeN kind of needs the sheep. But he's not going to go forward right now, I think, because he feels the pressure after the lame. There also might be a small part of him that thinks, didn't I have a boar there? It's just not something you really grow accustomed to looking for if you are not used to playing Arabia, not used to these situations. Now, Dark hasn't seen this boar for what it's worth, so he doesn't know where his own boar is because of all the scouting forward. Yeah, DracKeN must have double-checked there, and now he'll realize. But if he could find the sheep, man. If he finds two of them, he should find the other sheep. Well, it's funny. You might not actually go and find those, because you never expect there to be two more sheep. Dang. So this is all sneaky, right? And this has Dark a bit behind. DracKeN a bit behind here in terms of his build. Oh, but did he see that? Did he see those militia? He did. Oh, man. Now, he was already prepping some palisades because this is always a possibility. Also, he's got to be careful here because he will finish that bush. Arabia players like Dark will look for that. Even still, you could finish that bush. But now he knows this little rush is coming. And he's still been able to click up at a pretty decent population here. So, all things considered, an okay position for DracKeN to be in. And Dark is going to click up behind this, most likely. But nice, safe, defensive wood lines here for DracKeN. Yet again, he could overchop this tree and there would be a gap, so he needs to think about palisades. But I think Dark will be disappointed in the situation. He would have wanted to do more damage with this build order. Now, it's going to take DracKeN quite a bit of time to get whatever his plan is. And I think experienced Arabia players will never go for a stable here. I remember DracKeN made this mistake against Yo, where he got drushed, and then he went for a stable, because his initial strategy was scouts. I think the correct play, because your opponent could add more militia, your opponent's going to be able to wall in from the scouts, is to go for an archery range and just go into skirmishers and archers. See what he goes for. There's the archer range. Okay, so that's a good call. Flexes this into a bit of an archer build. He has finished the bush I talked about. Militia see him. Militia probably won't kill a Vil, but it's annoying. Oh, now it could kill a Vil. No. Yes, okay. All things considered, not a bad spot for DracKeN. And behind this, we are going to have gold mining now for Dark. And yeah, so Dark lamed. He's had 3 boars in this game, but he actually didn't find his sheep until now. Most likely he's going to be ranges behind this for Dark. The villagers only get cheaper for the Hindustanis. The bonuses only come more into play for the Hindustanis. The Japanese bonuses, they just don't last as long. They don't matter as much long term. Cheaper mining camps, lumber camps, mills, all those things matter early. Can you imagine, though, if it would have been a Scout edition here from DracKeN? He wouldn't have enough to deal with what's coming. Dark's adding more militia. He's going for man-at-arms. And there's his range. I'll be honest, though. I mean, of course, this is out of DracKeN's comfort zone. This is not the type of map that he normally plays. But I've known Dark for years. I played against him many times. And it doesn't seem like his builds are quite as crazy as they used to be. It doesn't seem like he's pressuring as much as I know he's possibly capable of. And DracKeN, good job here, but he could lose the archer. And this is a moment of brilliance here from Dark as he blocks that. And also power of the Japanese, right? And both players end up losing their scouts. That's good. You're basically forcing your opponent into archers. And now you can go skirms. And them not having the scout means your skirms can freely move around. And DracKeN, he could be under some pressure here. Of course, I said, oh, the pressure from Dark is not what I've grown accustomed to. And then immediately backs it up with a really nice attack. Also, Fletching's in already with the Man-at-Arms. And we have a stable on the front from DracKeN. Where did you think this pressure was going to come in from, dude? Oh, man. And the pressure's just adding up so quickly. This is going to be our first villager kill of the game. Skirmishers in front is just going in after the archers. This is the type of thing that these arena players, man, they don't like to face. This technical micro can catch up with you so quickly. And even the skirmishers are being microed from side to side, too. He's trying to block the villager now with the skirmishers. Chooses to back away and go for the archers still. I think DracKeN is just falling apart here, guys. He's got so much idle time. The range opening was the right play. However, he hasn't been able to truly, like, manage this whole situation since. He's got 7 on gold, which is imbalance. He's got exposed villagers here. He's got a denied stable. And Dark kind of in his comfort zone here. And this is exactly what he needed, man. He needs his wins on the board. And he definitely needs wins against DracKeN here. And we know that what the home map for DracKeN is going to be, right? There will be no surprise for anyone to know that the home map... Why are you attacking the farms? Kill the archer. As he killed the villager, actually, too. Yeah, the home map's arena for DracKeN, so... Dark's going to be at a bit of a disadvantage there in theory, though he did pick a lot of good arena civilizations. And, yep, okay. 15:04 minute game. Great. Poor DracKeN. He tried. He tried on Arabia. I wanted to see what map did he ban? Because on the draft, you do actually get the ability to ban before the opponent picks. And, okay, he had banned Acropolis instead of Arabia. That is a bit of a surprise for me. I feel like on Acropolis, you have more space between the bases. It gives you a little bit more time. It doesn't allow Dark to do the things that he just did to you. But hey, I'm just a caster. The score's 1-1 now. That was domination there from Dark. Obviously, the lame helped him. But the most important thing was just the constant pressure this game. And with that constant pressure, he was able to deny berries, kill villagers, and just completely stop DracKeN from what he needed to do there. You could tell by the 7 on gold. You could tell by the continuous archer production and no second range. With how late fletching was. All those things that DracKeN just was up against it there. Lame obviously didn't help. And that's the fastest game of Titans League so far, actually. All right, so scores 1-1. I have to switch the colors back to what we've been using. Apologies for that. They choose some weird colors. We have DracKeN playing as the Turks here, guys. And Turks are a great arena civilization, a classic arena civilization. They've been good for a very long time. However, Dark, he's gone for the Bengalis, but he had other options too. He had the Burgundians, he had the Bengalis, he also had the Teutons. And if you remember game number 1, he also had the Burmese. So, you know, shout out to the Burmese. They can be pretty decent on arena. Bengalis get +2 villagers when they arrive to the next stage. So +2 villagers when they make it to the next stage is very helpful. There's nothing you can really do to stop that if you're up against them on arena. They have monks that have extra armor, which could be helpful if light cav are out and about. But Turk get the light cav upgrade for free. It's pretty easy for them to mass them because they don't have to research that upgrade. And the Turks also have the Janissary, so if you want to see aggressive play from DracKeN, that could also be really tough for Dark to stop. But I'm just wondering what the builds will be here. So let's just back up a second. For the Turks, I think you've got one way of playing that is always pretty solid. And that's light cav opening into a boom for map control, get the relics, and then play towards imp. And I feel like full heavy cav archer hussar is good against virtually everything in the game. I haven't seen it against Ratha yet, and people are pointing out that maybe the Ratha could be pretty good here because the weakness of Ratha is against the lead skirm, and Turks don't actually get that. Actually, this might be the first time I've ever seen Turks versus Bengalis, now that I think about it. I've seen these civs on closed maps all the time, but I don't know if I've actually ever seen them against each other. I'm trying to think about it now. But yeah, so So yeah, I talked through the Turk options. I could see DracKeN going for the light cab play, as he has a lot of confidence in his late game, and he knows this map very well. So I don't think that he's going to go all in or anything, because why would you as a player? Also, this deer is just refusing to... Yeah, there you go. He's going to walk back to his original starting spot. But he was refusing to get pushed in. What do the Bengalis do? So again, you get the Vil lead. You have a crazy boom. You have good monks. I could see arena players going for double monastery and having faith that the strong monks could hold against light cav. I think that's super risky, though. I wonder if Bengalis could build up towards light cav as well and then just boom. But I don't know. There's always a question of what are you booming up towards? I'll tell you one thing about this. Imp timing is always crucial when playing as the Turks. If DracKeN has map control and he has a slightly faster imp, he will absolutely take advantage of that and do lots of damage. I think that's got to be a key for Dark, regardless of what happens in the mid game. You need to have some buildings here or some army in the middle so that insta bomber cannon push can't be accompanied by trebuchets in the front of your base. How's Bambi doing? Bambi's dead. But yeah, this still could be Fast Castle unique unit for DracKeN. Not really sure based on the build thus far. We'll know based on how many villagers he adds. Everything looks fairly standard so far. Do high-level players fast imp? Not so much these days. But fast imps do happen behind the unique unit pressure I talked about. It used to be more common, the Turk fast imp. And I actually think the Turk fast imp is one of my favorite strategies of all time. You don't have many examples of me casting it, but it's like super cool, man. I remember doing it on Arena when I was learning the game. Also, Dark didn't take a boar yet. What is happening, bro? What? I can't believe I'm about to say this, but is Dark like intentionally messing around here? Like, he didn't take a single boar. He's now using his scout to bring in the boars, which, to be fair, Vinchester did in the past. I remember yelling at Vinchester doing that because he would then lose his scout, but maybe he's going to heal it later or something. I'm so confused. If he loses the scout, I will scream, though, so you need to brace yourself out there, guys. Losing your scout in arena is like one of the biggest mistakes. He farmed before he took his first boar. Still could have like a crazy fast imp time, but his whole build order will be affected by this. Because boar is faster than sheep. I'm choosing not to go to the middle right now. And yeah, for DracKeN, this is going to be unique unit play. Ooh, let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm really curious on what Dark's build order is going to look like here. It is still very possible that he could still achieve a good uptime. It's just very different order than what you normally see. Like the Civ picks have been weird. Granted, the score's 1-1, right? So, and it could be 2-1 here. The build order here is awkward. His scout's on 5 HP. So he will have known that it would be 5 HP because the boar should always get 2 hits. Okay, kill the boar. All right, he's fine. I don't think he's going to have the res in time. I think he's going to have to use the market or something. So it almost looks like a boom and monk build here for Dark. And DracKeN's going for the crazy Janissary pressure. And the important thing with this, guys, is that now that Dark's scout is weak, he's never going to move out. DracKeN's going to get light cap for free as well. So even just this scout is going to hold map control. And DracKeN can absolutely drop a castle forward. Like, watch. DracKeN's going to run back for a second. Because he's going to see his opponents in feudal. And he's going to be like, oh no, I don't want to lose my scout. He's going to hide. Yeah, there he is hiding. Because he knows how important the scout HP is. Wait, is he going to go stable blacksmith? This is a strategy that I first saw from John Slow. I don't know if he was the first person who ever did it, but this is a strategy, guys, that you could actually use whether you're low elo or mid elo. It's really effective. It's a bit more investment to get the map control, but the idea is you want to make sure that your castle never gets denied, and you're taking advantage of getting the light cav upgrade for free. So you make like 1 or 2 scouts, they become light cav instantly, and they protect your villagers as you then drop the castle on the opponent's face. If DracKeN knew his opponent had a 5 HP scout, though, he obviously would never even do any of that, but he would never expect anyone to ever do that. MBL seems to be able to take the boar only receiving 1 hit. Don't know how he does it. Yeah, you have to hit the boar twice, but the way it should work is if you hit the boar twice, it has to hit you twice. I've seen instances, like Dark actually took the boar in the previous game with 2 hits, but he only took 1 hit from the scout. And by the way, the build order wasn't actually that bad from Dark. I just still a little confused by it. At the end of the day, he's on the way to Castle Age at a really decent time, and he gets 2 free villagers every single time that he is he arrives to the next stage. But DracKeN's going to have light cav. He's going to have a castle in the middle. And the other thing about this, and I've been saying this particularly over the last year, is if you're going to castle drop, you want to castle drop next to a gold. I wouldn't say a stone, because you probably already have villagers on stone. But oftentimes with these plays, your economy's weak, and you kind of want to use the extra gold for monks or the market or something. Okay. Here we go. Dark wants to go for monasteries on the front. Oh, dude. Oh, this is just gonna be so good for DracKeN. If DracKeN sees those monasteries, would you not just drop it right here? He doesn't actually have the stone yet. Yeah, what's he gonna do about it? Those churches are gonna burn down, man. A 3 TC boom for Dark, as he's gonna somehow try and defend from this. His whole strategy of massing lots of monks is going to be extremely awkward now. And we even see fletching for DracKeN. That's not something you see every day. The only thing that I consider awkward here is that he doesn't have a market. So eco balance will actually be a bit awkward because he's probably going to float a lot of gold. And he doesn't actually have a lot of food. Like a lot of times what players do here, you see how we just pulled this villager to wood? Like this type of adaptation is really important. You have to think about what your eco is going to look like. And oh my god, 2 monks just got shot by the castle. Fletching pays off already. Oh my god. Disaster for Dark, dude. Guys, I think it's safe to say, even though there's going to be other rounds played, whoever wins this series is in... Like, okay, whoever loses this series might end up being relegated. Especially if it's Dark losing the series. Because DracKeN took a win from Leary. DracKeN took a win from Yo. This is his 3rd round. Dark lost 3-0 to MBL, but then he's still going to have to play Yo. He's still going to have to play Leary. And both players here are going to still have to play Backed, which is also like a really important series, because Backed is the other person part of that relegation discussion. I don't want to be that caster, but I struggle to see how Dark isn't just completely dead. And to be honest with you, even if he wouldn't have had that weak scout, I think the castle drop on the monasteries would have happened anyways. And it's just a really experienced arena player playing like a beast. He's got such an amazing position right now. Any amount of villagers, it doesn't feel like... Even if you had a 15 villager lead, like, what are you going to make? Where can you go with it? What can you do? Just feel like you're just always under so much pressure. And I've been in this position before against a player like DracKeN. And they have enough Janissaries to be happy. So you're like, oh my god, they're all inning me. They're all inning me. They're going to produce. I have to make tons of monks. I have to produce tons of ills. And then they just go fast imp. And then you have some massive problems. DracKeN's going to get the relics too right now. And DracKeN, there's his market. We'll know there's maybe a monk in here, so is waiting for that guy. Crazy, crazy plays here from DracKeN. He is behind in villagers by about 10 now. Monks, remember, have 9 range, so they could convert a Janissary. And the problem is Janissaries do a lot of damage, but the extra armor on the monks, is it helpful? Well, monks are weak inside that town center right now. You can see how difficult it is for Dark to try this. And he hops immediately out of the town center to go for conversions, and no. It's just too difficult. It's too much work. Monks keep dying anyways. And we're going to see another castle drop from DracKeN right on the TC. How do you stop this? Dang, man. There's no way you stop it. There's still a monk in here, too. He's probably panicking, so he's just producing monks out of all of his monasteries and forgetting that there's a monastery there. Now, honestly, I think DracKeN has more than enough Janissaries at this point. He doesn't actually need to spend food and gold on that. And wow, he's going for a second TC. I'm surprised. Maybe feels like the only way he loses is if he's far behind in villagers, so he wants to catch up there. Normally, you stay lower eco and you use that extra food to go imp and then just bombard cannon all this stuff down. What's the best civ to counter 1v1 arena Turks? Bohemians are like... There's a couple of civs. Bohemians, Burgundians are probably the top 2 that come to mind. A lot of people play Poles as well. I mean, some people really like Teutons, some people like Malay, some people like Aztecs. But yeah, I mean, remember the draft for Dark. Hold on, guys. Let's not freak out too much. If Dark can get a castle up and go imp, Dark can still win this game. Oh my god. Because look at his food count. Okay, wheelbarrow. Get it, get it, get it. Okay, he just got wheelbarrow barely. Oh my goodness. Did you see that? Did you see? Excuse me? He must have 6 control groups, and every time there's Janissaries, he just goes bam, 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 bam. Yeah, you see him clicking him. This is still a game. If Dark can drop a castle here and go up to imp and start trebbing all this down, DracKeN's going to have the relics. DracKeN's going to have a lot more vills than he would have otherwise, but DracKeN's going to start lose map control. I played a game as Turks where I was like in the exact same scenario. I'm trying to learn these types of plays. And the temptation to add vills for me is always so real because of my experience with adding, you know, like the standard games. But imp is on the way for Dark. As long as this castle goes up, he's going to get trebs. We have ourselves a treat here, guys. We have ourselves a treat. With a 13-1 KD... DracKeN could find himself behind here soon. This is wild. Now, the Light Cav, they're going to be very helpful here and kill a couple monks. And Light Cav actually end up getting converted there. And just Bengali things. I don't know who the crap is calling me right now, but I'm casting an arena game, and this is going to be wild. So, the other thing to mention about a fast imp with the Bengalis, which feels really good, is that you still get the villagers from the new TCs. So it's actually really important from Dark to make sure this TC is completed before he's an imp. Man, DracKeN's going 4 TCs. Oh, this is going to be so good. DracKeN, I think you have to bring the relics back, man. If he senses this, I think he should absolutely bring the relics back home. It looks like yeah, okay, so he just brought 2 to this monastery, and he's going to grab these as well before the Light Cav come out, ideally. Run, monk, run! And look at Dark try and rush down these TCs. I'm worried this one won't be built. This one should be. Should absolutely finish building this and then head over to this one. Try and get the timing right. Because that bonus is no joke here. Oh, man. One on the right will not be built. One on the left will be. I think. Oh, no. Dark, 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 dark. Finish it, finish it, finish it, finish it, finish it. Whew, worth it. Okay. All right, so remember, he doesn't have the biggest army, but it's 70 vills a pop, and he's going to take down 2 castles. Now, DracKeN has taken a lot of this gold, which is kind of nice. And he's also escorting these monks back home now. Wow. Now, I would really need to speak to one of the Clown Legion players, one of the many people on their council, to know if they agreed or disagreed with DracKeN adding the villagers here. But it is just worth noting, because it is possible the fast imp wouldn't have worked as well. Bengalis are still very good. It is just worth noting that he does give up full map control to do that. But at the end of the day, you know, he might actually have a better eco or an even eco, and he has the relics safe at home. So him moving the relics is a pretty nice thing. I just hope the DracKeN's prepared to command his villagers to build lots of houses, because he's going to lose these castles and he's going to be losing pop space. All right, so I'm Bengalis. I have monks and trebs. My opponent is Turks. We now see heresy for DracKeN. Are you kidding me? Just arena player things, but that's such a good move, right? Any unit that he that gets converted now doesn't actually switch to the other opponent's side. It just dies. Yeah, my next play, if I'm in Dark's position, is Pikeman, because you're expecting the free light cav or Hussar, of course, if your opponent's an imp, to come in for your monks. But he should still be able to take this castle freely. I also like how DracKeN is just taking as much gold as possible. Is adding the houses, by the way, with this villager. Honestly, I think he got heresy because he just had the gold floating. And he might have even looked at this and said, well, you paid for it, so. Not even spending my own money on this upgrade. I'm spending his money. All right. More farms here for Dark. 100 villagers. 96 villagers for DracKeN. This is a hugely important game. Again, especially for Dark, I think, because he still has to play Leary. He still has to play Yo. DracKeN was at least able to get one win in both of his sets against those players. Walls will probably be completed here. Dark thinking this is an opportunity to push out, and it absolutely is, I think, if you have some pikemen. He's going to build some outposts for vision. Cav Archer seems like it would be a sick play here. Yeah, but you need to get all the ranged upgrades, and you need to mask the ranges, and you need to get ballistics and all those things. So normally what players do is they open with the light cav, because the monks are the most immediate threat, and then they switch into the Cav Archers. But you're absolutely right. The Turk Cav Archers can be really good. Okay, so Dark, he's going to look for a castle to hit. And he's going to go for... he's going for the mining camp. Oh, dude, really? That's kind of funny. Or is he going for the gate? Well, why not both? He needs pikes, and he knows it. He's got so many resources, but he's adding farms. He's macroing more than anything. He doesn't actually have the production buildings. He's going to add stables? Your opponent's not going to add skirms, bro. Are we going to see battle elephants? Please make battle elephants. That would actually be really sick. He's still just attacking the gate. He somehow doesn't see that castle. Now he sees it. I'm astounded at the fact he's going for stables here. He's going elephants. Oh, dude, it's kind of similar to the conversation I just had about the Cav Archers. I think you've gone for the wrong order here, but let's see. I think you need to open with something first that protects you from this. Otherwise, you could lose this position, and there go the Hussars. This castle, there's no stone to repair for DracKeN, so he could lose it. He's got to buy some stone. The Hussars will clear out the monks, but most definitely clear out the trebs. And then there's monks here from DracKeN to be able to convert the elephants. DracKeN will keep this castle up just barely. Just barely. And he will take out the trebuchets, and now he knows his opponent is going elephant. I mean, you're just giving DracKeN a reason to add more monks. Feels like a weird opening for me. I feel like maybe Dark was just so excited to have pushed back that he felt like, I can do this now, and he just misjudged the situation. It's also possible that maybe he feels like without the relics, he has to kill quickly here. And that's why he'd go for something as extreme as the elephants. Oh, the castle did go down. Dang. Okay, so miscalculated that one. But still, I think DracKeN's going to be loving life. He did actually squeeze in the Sipahi upgrade before that castle went down. And conscription. Those units produce faster, and his Cav Archers have more HP. And there's Elite Battle Elephant. I know Bengalis have some bonuses in relation to the Battle Elephants, but it's just such an expensive unit, and it's so slow If I'm DracKeN, I would just drop a couple more monasteries, honestly. Just make sure you have 5 to 10 monks at all times. He's even going to go camels now. Oh, he didn't get the conscription upgrade? Okay, I must have missed that specific detail. It is kind of interesting, though, that Dark's trying to take gold and there's so little remaining here. Crazy game. These battle elephants are going to have full armor. But the numbers, man, the numbers are going to be incredibly low. Maybe he'll go for one of the unique techs for the Bengalis. But DracKeN is definitely in mode now where he knows if he doesn't make mistakes, he wins this game. Especially after seeing the elephant choice, I think. Look how slow these elephants are, man. Cav Archer's just freely running around, picking off villagers. Nice job, DracKeN. Doesn't lose a single unit. Getting ballistics. Didn't have ballistics. All right. Backing away. Over here, elephants start to dive in, and he's like, I would love an elephant. Elephants are my favorite. Let me just convert these. Now, these things resist conversions. I just remembered. I think it's a team, a civ bonus. Elephant units resist conversion. But they still get converted. It's not like the Teuton bonus. It feels like the resistance isn't as strong. Or maybe it's just the fact that elephants are really slow. I think that's probably it. It just takes so long for the elephants to get in there. There are some chonkers here, man. There's a lot of them. You can't say they're not strong, guys. Dark is the population lead. What's happening? This has been a wild game. More monks are going to try and get conversions. This guy's still waiting for faith from God to convert. Or monk juice, as people call it. The Janissaries are getting pushed back. The Balborg cannons are getting pushed back. And who judged the elephants? Not me. Not me. I expected this to work, as did everybody. Holy crap, these things are strong. Remember, Turks don't get halberdier. They don't get pikemen. I think any other civ would want to do that. But dang, man. And look at Dark. He's like, I'll take that gold. Thank you. Nom, 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 nom. And DracKeN calls the GG. Oh, my goodness. DracKeN just taps out. Oh, I really didn't think that was going to work. I thought it was too crazy. Like, again, normally you want to open with something to protect your monks. You know, normally you go for a trash unit like Halb, Skirm, whatever the situation is. But Dark wins the game. Dang, dude. So, you know, the Bengali elephants win the game as everyone expected. And what a great comeback from Dark, man. I just thought he was so dead. Like, I was so dejected, too. He used the scout against the boar. He lost his first 2 monks next to the monasteries. He had so many bad things happen. But honestly, I still would really like to think, or really would like to hear what, you know, some of the more experienced arena players think about DracKeN's decision to boom. I guess it was kind of like an even game at that point. He was a little bit behind in Vils, but he had the relics. Like, let's look at the resources. Yeah, close enough, right? And then it just came down strictly to army comp. But, you know, camels weren't enough. Also, don't the Bengalis... Hold on, I have to tab into the game. The Bengalis. Let me just look at this. He didn't research any unique techs. Okay, so he didn't get Ratha's and elephant units attack 20% faster. He didn't get Mahayana. But elephant units receive 25% less bonus damage and are more resistant to conversion. I think that first one's really nice. Like that, I think that first part played its role there. And then obviously maybe the resistance on the conversions played its role as well. Dang. So DracKeN didn't commit, and it was a really entertaining game. I really like games like that where I think I know exactly what's going to happen and then I get proven wrong. Just look at the HP out here. We had 25 elephants, 6,500 HP. It's just crazy. And Dark gets an important win. So now Dark has played 2 rounds. And Dark has 2 wins in Titans League Platinum. DracKeN has played 3 rounds. And he has 3 wins. So, you know, that's why this game was so important. Dark winning this 2-1. Now, that opens up a lot more possibilities for him as he moves on to his 3rd round in a couple days. I'm being told he did get pikes. Did he? Okay. Yeah, I wish Capture Age kind of had like a unique tech icon here for blind casters like myself. But I trust you guys. I think either way, I mean, Pikes is strong, but I think either way, it was just a numbers thing, right? A numbers and momentum thing. He was going to bring in Trebs too. I think he also switched out to this gold super early. Like, he was really going crazy with the gold mining with 41 on gold there. Sorry, I can't leave this game just yet. I still want to look at this position. If he never adds this TC, you see, normally that is 5 farms. And then normally, even instead of like buying stone for another castle, you just see the food get purchased. Because the second castle didn't accomplish much more than the first castle did. Granted, it did take out a TC eventually. I think if he never adds the second TC, he might be like 40 or 50 villagers behind, but have a better imp time. I'm trying to get a gauge on this. I mean, honestly, Dark's eco balance was really impressive. These resources are perfectly set up to lean towards imp. Even timing wheelbarrow with the TC that was going down. But yeah, like, now DracKeN catches up in Vills, but then he just loses all the map, and then I guess he didn't think it would turn into elephants. Wow, what a game. What a crazy game. That's definitely one of those. I wish if we had the ability to like have a save point in that game, and then I say, hey, players, play again, but do something different, or try something different to the losing player. I'd be really interested to see what DracKeN would do his second time around. I think he would still try and go for that fast imp, but it was a competitive arena game. Again, I think that might be the first time I've seen Turks and Bengalis. That was also a game that I feel was good enough, despite my early disappointment and sadness and frustration with Dark, to send to the main channel on YouTube too. So if people enjoyed that game, please give me your thoughts on how you thought this game played out. The earlier games, if you're interested in seeing the full series, as always, will be on the T90 Extras channel, so you got more content there. Just so happens the best game from the series was the most important game and the final game in the series.